and I'm kind of having to create my own challenges here lately, just organically through the game, just so I can maybe because I don't like using magic, but I'm like, how can I encourage myself to explore with magic? I think the only time I've ever used magic was in Demon Souls with the Flame Lurker, because the Flame Lurker was just crazy difficult for me back in the day, and pretty much
Back in the
after
day, he's still
that,
tough.
huh?
No, I said back in the day, he's still tough.
The what?
The Flame Lurker, he's still tough.
Oh yeah, he's crazy. I mean, you can't even hug up against him because of the fire damage.
Yep.
I've seen soul level no roll challenges, and people basically have to run up to him, hit him, and run away, and just repeat the process. I mean, it's a very tedious way to defeat him without taking damage, because it's just there's really not much you can do unless if if you want to explore the boss fully without being OP, you basically just got to hit him and run. It's just kind of it
Yeah.
sounds very typical, but with the flame lurker, you got to do that in order to avoid the fire damage.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. He's his AI is pretty crazy too. He can have some instant attacks and
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's very difficult to kind of get a read on what he's about to do.
Oh man, I just actually about 30 minutes ago, I finally got the death right bird without taking damage, and I wasn't able to do the no roll challenge. I was able to do it with the death bird, but with the death right bird, there was just too much RNG for me to do a no roll challenge. I'm just thankful I got the no damage run on him.
Some of those magic attacks can be pretty tough. Oh man, I remember trying out a soul level or a rune level, like a no level run, a rune level one,
Hmm.
and I could not defeat a Death Rider. Just between doing the damage and just making sure you dodge everything, I just couldn't beat the Death Bird. I beat the Death Birds; those weren't too bad, but I just couldn't beat the Death Birds. It's like an amazing test of endurance, to not get
Yeah.
hit a single time when these guys can fly around, use magic, have all kinds of crazy AoE, and they're just overall tough.
It's yeah. In my opinion, it's not very well designed because the attacks are not telegraphed very well. Because it with the death right bird, you kind of have to anticipate an attack that you really need to already start preparing to avoid before it happens. And for example, he has this one attack where he backs up and he shoots a bunch of projectiles at you. Unless you're anticipating it, you have no way of knowing he's going to do it. Um,
Yeah, and it's very difficult to dodge.
Yeah, so basically, once imagine doing this without a heads up display. You basically got to know exactly how many hits it's going to take. Once you start anticipating how when he's going to do it. So
Yeah, when he goes like
yeah,
his
so
half phase.
yeah, so I mean, basically, yeah, his second phase shift, and once his health gets halfway down. So once I hit him a few times, I kind of start backing off, and really, I feel like once I got the footage, I was like, man, I just felt like I got lucky. Every time I fought this boss and I got close, it just always felt lucky. It didn't really feel like I applied hardly any skill to it, because I was like just relying on him, hopefully hoping he wouldn't do certain attacks. Because I think the most devastating one for the no roll challenge was um, his stomp. He would rise up and then slam him to the ground. That made the no roll challenge very very hard to complete. And that's
Yeah, you
yeah,
basically have to roll to dodge that, right?
yeah, and that's one reason why I'm not fully into no roll challenges, because of stuff like that. It's just the RNG. You got to hope that bosses don't you know they don't perform the certain attack that's going to compromise the no roll challenge. And it's very fun doing a no roll challenge when it's reasonable, but when you just have an attack that just totally ruins it, it doesn't make it as fun.
Yeah, it kind of makes you think of basically you have to manipulate their AI in a way, and
Yeah.
sometimes it just doesn't work out in your favor.
Yeah, it's just a lot of backing off, and I mean, I do that to a certain extent, but when it comes to no rolling, you really got to find that little iframe all the time and hope that it works out. I don't know if you've seen any. Whenever I want to learn more about a boss or say some time, I'll just watch a video of someone doing a level one no roll, just to see how generous the boss is, and you'll be surprised how much you can learn about a boss just by watching someone do a no roll challenge for them.
Oh my god, yeah, speedrunners and well, maybe not necessarily speedrunners because a lot of times they
Well,
go specifically for damage, and killing something
yeah.
really fast doesn't really necessarily make you learn how to fight it.
Exactly, and and I even looked up speed runs and just to see how people got through like Smo and Ornstein, and someone just goes in there with a buffed up lightning weapon and just you like kills them in like a few hits. I'm like, oh man, I was hoping they would show me how to do something more, you know,
I
methodical,
know.
with the boss set instead they're just going in there being OP and just knocking them out.
Like you didn't learn anything, you know?
Yeah,
It's like, okay, yeah, you sure you can kill him in a couple of hits, that's cool.
right.
But I didn't learn how to fight him.
And if that's what you like to do, I mean, that's totally fine. It's just I like, personally, I just like to learn a little bit more about the game before I progress.
You know, it's funny.